Okay. Mirrors. I have no mirrors in my apartment, but somehow I always know when I need an improvement. See, in my head I created a compartment. I call it the identity department, free from vloggers' assortment with their tips on lifestyle enlargement. My identity department runs purely on self. Remember when self-improvement actually meant improving yourself and wasn't just a link? When you couldn't get hoodwinked about what to eat, put on your face, or wear? We watch them improve themselves at the expense of ourselves. In a world of fading empathy, people are influencing humility anti-venom like it's a poison and pride is the cure. Devotion we no longer endure, but to the law against impurities, we are quick to procure. Let me bring your attention to the reality that we no longer seek success, but fame. Does the child give birth to the parent? In the same way, fame does not give birth to success. I did not get to know Warren Buffett because he was famous. I got to know him because he is successful. If you know about him, it is doubtful that fame has ever been his footstool. Otherwise, his office would be on Mars just to prove a point. In the good old days, history says, hard work was everyone's ways. No matter who lives or stays, everyone had to get paid. So, before you put up those walls, let me ask, where is fame in that equation? Fame was a situation, something that happened after the sensation of frustration from hours of being behind a workstation to CEO elevation. If people can achieve success through fame, then why is it never permanent? Most of it actually ends up in predicament. Suicide being the preferred choice of escaping that which is imminent. The legitimate imprisonment of failure and disappointment. Do not ignore the trap behind the bait. The influence behind your favorite influencer. The zeros behind your favorite vlogger. The skeletons behind your favorite celebrity. The risk of mental illness behind you, caused by an unseen and an unheard coup against the government of your identity. I would rather give up what I can lose to gain what I can never lose. I would rather be called old school than new school. I would rather choose for myself what to wear, what to like and share, when to ignore and when to care, because I am an adult. Gone are the days when I was loyal to a fault, when I would follow blindly because of the millions of views that verify that this tutorial is legit. Yet somehow I would always end up tossing and turning from insomnia, caused by depression I brought about. Because I refuse to realize that contouring looks amazing on her, but I don't really need it. Because I refuse to realize that that which is being taught in 12 minutes of before and after isn't truly me. Thank you. How many of you have seen the poster for this event? Just a wave. Yeah? Okay, so we know Akuku the king. Yeah? Alright. Akuku the king is a story that was produced by Washira Mwangi. This handsome gentleman with a camera and green glasses over here. Wave. The producer of the story. Alright, so now we want to tell the story of Akuku because we are Africans and Wakanda forever! Let's take that from the top. Someone died, guys. You wanna take this a bit more seriously? Yeah? Chadwick Boseman? We good? Okay, let's take it from the top. Wakanda forever! Wakanda forever! Wakanda forever! Alright. So Akuku the king is our version of Wakanda in a more freaky way. Yeah. Alright, so over the next couple of months, we're going to be talking about Akuku, his concubines, wives, and eventually the queen. So if you stick around, you're going to have more of this over the next coming months, and we're going to have more amazing themes. It was just such a beautiful coincidence that the theme this time was Halloween. Yeah. I would like to introduce someone to you here. And I feel like when she comes here, people will not be paying attention to me because even me, I don't pay attention to me when she's around. Yeah, she's you know. Ladies and gentlemen, I introduce to you Akuku's assassin concubine. She is beautiful. She is deadly. You're not even ready, guys. Me, I wasn't ready. You know? Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Asegai. 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 Wakanda forever. Asegai. Picture natural black beauty. Now picture African natural black beauty. Now picture African natural black beauty in the desert. That was the appeal, that concealed in barren land where the sun and moon set in the sand, a beauty existed far more ideal than an oasis. As is the way of the motherland, there was one blessed with the responsibility of carrying Africa on her behind. Asegai was her name. Assassin was her game. To find an enemy's weakness is to defeat them. Asegai would make herself your weakness. Tossing and turning, she would leave you sleepless. Bronzed by the sun and sweat, her skin revealed new sweetness. The sun, unable to burn hotter than her, in her presence would fall into sickness. The pawn on the chessboard. Asegai had the power to unveil new pleasures. A concubine with no stature, she found her power behind bringing the rapture to Akuku's enemies. Her weapon of choice, a short, stabbing spear. Just as a married man stabbed his marital vows as he lay with her, is the same way Asegai would stab them in the chest. To become who she needed to be, a beautiful assassin by the king's side, she needed to show that she could please and defend, before fate dealt its hand and moved the hands of time. The shattering of bone underneath troubled skin would make her smile behind her mask, the only thing she wore through any task. For Akuku, may the king live long, she would utter as she wiped the blood from her short, stabbing spear. With absolutely no fear, back to the front lines she would appear. Though before the other wives her presence would disappear, to battle she was quickly to volunteer. Beyond beautiful, beyond deadly, but faceless. Have you ever had to find your own face? The last face Akuku's enemies would see was faceless. No identity attached to your death. She was a cross between Medusa and the Grim Reaper. Her only job, to serve you your fate after providing irresistible bait. Asegai had one need, one itch ever since she became a trained assassin concubine. To be seen by her king. He is mine, but I am not his. Only he could quench the desert that was her soul. Her loyalty would never fade, but her beauty would. To overcome 7 wives and several soldiers was her burden to bear. A burden time would not help her with by slowing down. She would not have to worry about wearing masks when she grew old, for to her, her youth was her face. Asegai was trained with many, but only she was cunning enough to rise in rank. She made her way to the first line of defense for the king. She became like T'Challa's army of African women, an army of wives fighting by Akuku's side, Asegai being the king's secret weapon. Time she tried to cheat. For her biggest battle, she was yet to defeat, making the other wives obsolete so Akuku, her king, would fall to her feet, as she had done to the strongest of men. Thank you. Thank you, guys.